Thank you for calling Xaminer Tech Support. My name is John. How may I assist your call today?
Yeah, John, you guys sold me a broken Xaminer. It has been dead for like the past few weeks. This is ridiculous.
Oh, no, I'm really sorry to hear that. Can I get your name so I can look up your file?
Yeah, it's Nerdy Dude.
All right, Mr. Nerdy Dude, I did pull you up here, and I do see that your Xaminer is currently offline. So I do see the issue, and unfortunately, we are going to have to replace that. So I have just processed an order to send you a new one, and all you need to do is send us the old one when you get your new one in.
That's it?
Yep, that's it. Just give it a couple of days for the shipping and receiving, and everything is all set. Did you want to fight?
Yeah?
All right, well, I have a few minutes. Go ahead.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I purchased this thing. I am the consumer.
Sir?
I am always correct. I am going to write an angry letter to Mr.
Nerdy Dude?
Miner. You know, the owner.
Mr. Nerdy Dude.
Xaminer.
No, sir, please don't write an angry letter to the owner. There's unfortunately nothing I can do for you. You've already used the device for 90 days.
90 days? That's all the shelf life you're giving me on that is 90 days? No, I want to speak to your supervisor.
No.
I want to speak to your manager,
No.
buddy. All right? Listen here. You are going to regret the day.
Unfortunately, my hands are tied. I can't get you to a manager or supervisor as they're not available at this time. I need you to calm down.
Calm down? Are you kidding me? Ugh.
Is there anything else I can do for you, Mr. Nerdy Dude?
Hey, John, I appreciate that. You have a wonderful day.
Have a wonderful day. Thanks for calling.
Nerdy Dude Stuff.
For those of you keeping track at home, today's Beer of the Day is brought to you by Steven, one of our subscribers. This he sent us from Boston, Massachusetts. This is called Harpoon Celtic Red. This is a traditional Irish ale, and this is quite delicious when it comes to one of these ales. You can see it's got a beautiful, beautiful deep amber color. It's got a nice sweet aroma, a little bit of maltiness to it on that mouth aromatics as you go to take your sip. It's got some pretty solid body, not too thick, probably right in the midline there. It's got a nice and sweet malty taste with a little bit of a nice burnt roasted barley taste on the back end, so that complements the bitterness very well with just a smidge of hops to really give it that good medium body flavor. Overall, for a St. Patrick's Day beer coming out of Boston, I'm going to give this a 4.0. Cheers to you guys.
Bink! What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about finally having our Xaminer back and chugging along and running, the steps we took to get there, and the excellent customer service from the SCP team and Xaminer team. If this is your first time on the channel, please take a moment. Please take a moment to consider hitting that subscribe button, turning on the bell notification, and liking this video, as this will potentially be helpful to a select few amount of people. Otherwise, cheers to you guys. A couple other announcements. We do have some new social media platforms. Links for those in description. Facebook, Instagram, if you want to jump over and do some follows. Yes, they are Nerdy Dude stuff. And we are kind of expanding our horizons and broadening our adventure. Now, with all that said, I do want to give this disclaimer once again that our Xaminer was an anomaly. There's about 55 of us out there out of about 1,100 units that have been produced and shipped, and it was these 55 that were brought out in December during a time when there was a major shortage supply on certain parts to build these, and one of those was the motherboard. So what happened was the BIOS on the motherboards were from a different, or the motherboards themselves were from a different distributor, and the BIOS were having some issues. So with the fix that I put in the last video, that's specifically for the very small few of us, which if you are one of those, they will email and reach out to you directly, and I believe they've been doing that to be proactive about it. So anyone else, if you're having any issues, don't do what I did in the last video. Just contact them directly, because it's completely different. There was something in the BIOS not updating to their new UI, user interface, allowing the fan speed to run, and anything along those lines. So since ours wasn't able to be fixed with that BIOS update and the UI update, the SCP team quickly got in touch with me, and we worked together, and they sent me out a new chassis, and all we had to do was switch over our HDDs from the old one to the new one. We are going to do that here in just a second, and then we are going to double check on the ports and the connection to make sure that we are up and running. So let's just get right to that now.
So this is our old Xaminer. This is the one that had some issues with the motherboard, and I'm gonna repeat this a lot this video, but there was only a very small handful of devices that were shipped out in December that had issues like this one, and the SCP team will be reaching out to those that are still affected by it. So all we are gonna be doing is switching our hard drives, which are super easy to do, into our new chassis over here. And of course, we're doing this with Axle Home. So, but look how easy that is. You pop these open. You pop these open and you pull out your nice hard drives right here. And then you just go over here and you slide them in, probably at a terrible angle. Axel, get out of the shot. They slide in. I have to make sure I line it up perfectly. There we go. Slide in nicely. Bro, get out of the shot. Pull this one out. Put it in. Pull this one out. Get it in there. Last but not least, our top one. Slide this bad boy in as well. And then bink, 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 bink. All right. So now we have officially switched from our old scprime Xaminer into our new one. Let's get this bad boy plugged in and take a look at its stats.
All right, we got her plugged back in. We're going to give her a second to finish her boot up, and then we are going to patch in to our Xaminer through the IP address on our browser. Let's take a look.
We have not seen this screen in quite some time, so it's really refreshing to get back there. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Holy crap, look, the ports aren't open. I know. While I was editing and filming this video, I got called to a work meeting that lasted for an hour and a half, and I can't reset my router. And then I have to go back to doing the video. So after I upload this, I'm going to reset my router. And those ports are going to be back open because it did create a new IP address for my new device. Now, also, you're going to notice that my balance is very low and I don't have anything else going on. Obviously, it's because the device was just plugged in. But with this new Xaminer, essentially with the new motherboard and the new chassis, it's a new device. And I have to go through now, and what I'm doing here is I am syncing, which I'm waiting here. They have a user web UI where I am waiting for this to fully sync to the blockchain, and then I can go ahead and pull my old seed phrase from my old Xaminer. I can restore that, and then I will have access to my tokens. You can download this on their website, and then I'll have access to my tokens that were on my old device, and then I could choose to either leave them here on this web user interface, or I can then send them to my current Xaminer, my new one, which I am going to do so that way I can have the collateral for the new contracts. So everything is up in kosher tacos, so I'm very happy there. The hard part's over. Now it's just waiting for some syncing and some other IT thingamabloops to do. And then the last part, going over here to the statistics. We're at the statistics. In a minute. Sip of beer. There we go. You can see here that we are, we do have a fresh device. We only got it going like about 10 minutes ago, so we don't have a lot going on. Of course, I need to get my network address and all that stuff up and open and good. But unfortunately, it's looking like the original data I had stored on that device is no longer available. I'm wondering if while it was down, the data was able to be extracted before I had the device unplugged, because we're only sitting at 20 megabytes per when we were sitting at about 160 gigabytes per. So I'm really intrigued to go about that one. I am waiting to see what tech support and everything says over here in Discord, just in regards to what is still on those drives. But I'm kind of have a gut feeling that while the UI went down, and since I had it plugged in for about 2 weeks, it was able to extract that data off of my device before we finally laid it to rest. So really intriguing to see there. Storage prices, all that stuff still looks pretty good over here. That's still updated for contracts. We're not accepting anything just yet because we're going to get our ports open. So hopefully by the next time you guys see another Xaminer video, all this will be perfect, clear, and ready to go. So very, very happy with that whole experience now that we are actually up and at it. It keeps showing one port open here every single time I go back to it keeps showing the 4282 open. I know I've got 4282, 4283, and 4285 open. I cleared them off of my old Xaminer, but my modem keeps telling me every time that I'm setting those ports and I'm making a static address for my new Xaminer, it needs to reboot. And unfortunately, I can't reboot it because I was on that work meeting. So we are going to wait until this wallet is finished syncing to the blockchain right yeah, you can see it's syncing up here. When that's finished syncing, then we are going to reset our router and get everything going and kosher and good to go and back online, so on and so forth. So really, really glad we're finally back. We're back, baby. Anywho, that's going to do it for me today, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me on Discord or Twitter. Links for that stuff is in the description, as well as a few more social media outlets that you can follow Nerdy Dude stuff on for some updates and kind of just to support that venture there. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell notification, all that good stuff. I'm O'Prius, and we'll see you guys next time.